Welcome to The Creative Gem, a podcast which amplifies the voices of creative and underestimated gems. You will hear stories that will empower, educate, and inspire you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Gem podcast. So this podcast is for business owners, entrepreneurs, underrepresented voices. This is like a platform to showcase not only their business, but also their stories, the person behind, their business. So I am excited to welcome our next guest, and I'm going to have her introduce herself.
Thank you so much for having me. So, my name is Sonia, and I am the founder of Wiley Creating. I run a web and brand design agency, and I'm also a personal brand mentor. I started my business 2 years ago, and I quickly decided that, this was a good thing for me to have the dual business because I really want to work with different kind of people. But I'm sure we're going to talk about that later
Yes.
on.
Let's jump right into it though. So tell me more about your business, Wildly Creating. I love the name of it, first of all. How did you come up with it?
Thank you so much. Well, before I started my business, I was traveling and I was really just around the world. And my personal Instagram account was called Wildly Sonia because I was always in the wild, always taking picture, really like photography. And I was living in a van, traveling in Australia. So when I started my business, it felt like the natural thing to do, like instead of Wildly Sonia, Wildly Creating, because I was creating new things. So I don't know, it was just like a fun thing. And I was like, oh, for sure, I'm going to change the name whenever I'm going to grow. But no, I really, really like it. So I kept that.
Love it. So I'm hearing an accent here. So where are you from?
I was born in Italy. So my mom is Italian, my father is from Cameroon, but I was born and raised by my mom. And yeah, so Italian is my mother language.
Awesome. But you live in Australia. How did you get to Australia?
Exploring. I After high school, I moved to Amsterdam and I lived there for 2 years. And the goal was to start university, but that never happened. I mean, I started, but then that was not for me. So I decided to travel, and I traveled around Southeast Asia for 6 months, and then I landed into Australia. And it was very close because I was in Indonesia. So I was like, okay, let's go to Australia. And yeah, and I never left. It's been 3 years now.
Amazing. So, I started college too, and I didn't finish, but um, you mentioned you traveled. How did you support yourself? While you traveled, do you have a 9 to 5, or do you do your business full time?
When I was traveling in Southeast Asia, I was just traveling out of my savings because when I was in Amsterdam, I was just working in a regular job. I've never worked in corporate, but it was like retail. Retail was the main area where I was working.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a lot of retail and I saved a lot of money. And Southeast Asia was mostly out of my savings. But then when I arrived in Australia, I was able to work again retail jobs and like regular jobs. And I remember I started my business when I was in Tasmania, which is a little island south of Australia. And COVID hit when I was there, so I could not move anyway. And that's when I decided, I was working as a virtual assistant, but I was not really landing a lot of clients. I did not really enjoy the job. And one of my virtual assistant client asked me to design a website. And I started doing that when I was in Tasmania. And one thing led to another. I started my business like that. So after that period, I think, yeah, I stayed in Tasmania for 6 months. And after that period, I was able to support myself with my business. And I kind of went full time from right from the beginning, but simply because COVID was happening. So there was nothing for me to do anyway, but I had a lot of savings. So now it's just my business. Yeah.
Good. Yes, let this be a lesson to everyone to save your money so that you can travel the world and do what you want to do. So that's awesome. So what type of who do you serve? Like what's your audience?
I work with online entrepreneurs, and my business is split into also for that reason, because with my agency I work with more established entrepreneurs, people that have been in business for a few years. They it's not like they crack the code or anything, but they know how to bring in money, bring in clients. They have a stable business in the sense that they know what they're doing and they're not pivoting, changing, every 3 months.
Yeah.
While with my mentorship clients, it can be more beginner stage and for people that are still trying to find their own path and their own journey. And with them, it's more about helping them create a business where the personal brand is really strong, so that, they don't feel like they have to change the branding, change their business. It's just like kickstarting your business right from the beginning.
Got it. Got it. So designing websites and doing branding takes a lot of, creativity. So what sparks creativity for you?
Oh, good question. Traveling. I feel like it's mostly that. Like when I'm feeling like I have a big deadline and I'm still all around the place, traveling or going out in nature, it really helps. It's like not thinking about it. A lot of people suggested me to go in nature and do the work there, or to bring a notepad and do it. For me, it doesn't work. But it's more like I go in nature and I just think about something else. Or I do a lot of roller skating. So I might go for, 1 hour roller skating session with my music. So just thinking about my own things. And then when I sit back at the computer, it's almost like my brain resets. So it's a lot of this. I don't find inspiration in other people. I mean, in other people's work. So if I were to scroll through Pinterest or look at magazine, that would just trigger my comparison, or just like, oh, I'm not good enough for that. But if I'm just doing my own thing and I just reconnect with myself, then it's easier to get back on track.
I love that. I love that. Yes, going in nature can definitely kind of just reset you and clear your mind and things like that. So yes, love it. Um, so going off of creativity, what do you love the most? I know you love your business completely, but is there a certain aspect that you love the most?
Yes, it's branding strategies. That's my number one favorite thing. I love it because I can really talk and really connect with the client on a much deeper level than just a regular conversation. It's like learning all about their struggle, their desires, and even the big goals, and helping them achieving them. I know that me and the client sitting together talking about their business, it's like it's about, creating their dreams, making them come true. And then when I'm working on them, it's like, oh, okay, this was the main goal. I'm going to keep it in mind because I really want to bring this to life. So it's like a very big dream energy during the brand strategies, and I really love it for that reason. Also, when I'm working with, mentorship clients, I feel like they still have a lot of energy compared to more established entrepreneurs that usually it's more about strategies. But with people that are just starting out, they really have the energy, the desire of changing the world, and it's really beautiful to see.
Love it. I can tell. You're lighting up when you talk about it. So I, lo- I love it. So
Thank you.
yes. And we'll work together soon. I definitely need some, help with my branding, my website. And I saw what you did with Felly and it's amazing. So yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
You're
much.
welcome. So we want to get to know you, the person behind Widely Creating. Um, so tell me about like a dark time, if you've had one, a dark time or a low time in your life, and how you overcame it?
Well, I feel like I had a lot, especially, like entrepreneurship is a up and down roller coaster kind of
Yes.
journey.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, and the lows are really low.
Yes.
I was struggling at some point recently, a few months ago, maybe 3, 4 months ago, when I realized that I was not managing my agency finances in the right way. I've always been not good, but like, I don't want to say that I was not good, but I was not a master at finances, and I've never been. But when I was working in regular job, it was easier to manage the money because you receive the money and those
Yeah.
are just going into your savings. So it's up to you, you can
Right.
put this in saving for a holiday, saving for this. And for a business, I was doing exactly the same. So that was very complicated because I also hired other people to help me with my business. And I arrived to the point where I was taking money from different places, not tracking anything. And it was pretty scary. I didn't know, I had no control whatsoever. And some savings finished while the other filled up. And there was really no structure. That was really hard because it kind of reinforced the idea in my head that I'm not good with money. I'm not meant to do entrepreneurship. I should just go back to a normal job when in reality this is just another skill that I have to learn, and that was the perfect moment to start learning it. So I cried, and I complained, and I stayed in my little dark hole for a long time. But after that, I was able to start reading books and asking people, asking for help about that, opening up. And like, I'm still so with my finances, but it's so much better just because I saw how bad it could be and how bad it could get, and I'm not willing to go back there again. So yeah, that was really dark time recently.
Good. Yeah. So I can definitely relate to that because, yeah. So, I mean, I still have my 9 to 5. So I still get like, a paycheck every 2 weeks. But entrepreneurship is something like the finance is completely different. Like you have to like do taxes now. So, so it's like, yeah, it's definitely I had to hire like a money coach to like help me like look. She's like, look, Jasmine, this is what you need to do. And so I'm and then especially when you like start having people on your team and like now you're having to pay them, you want to make sure also that your business is like profitable, like you're not like
Yeah,
that you're not like spend like as soon as the money comes in, you're not like just immediately spending it out. You definitely want to try and save some. So, and then also pay yourself too. People don't talk about that. You got to pay yourself
I
too.
know.
Yeah. So, no,
Yeah,
I totally relate to that. And that's actually, that's a really good, people like need to know about that.
yeah,
So,
I feel like money is not discussed enough, especially, we really talk a lot about making money, but what happens after you make the money? Where
right.
do the money go?
There you go. There exactly. You hit it right on the head. So, um, what is something you grew up not liking about yourself but have now accepted? Like you absolutely like love it.
Oh my God, this is a very big topic because I've never liked my skin. Like, the fact that I'm black was never like something that I liked. And it was very hard, like very hard to accept for me because, I was raised in a white household. I only grew up with my mom, and my mom is Italian white. So all of my family is white, and I was, the only black kid in the family. And yeah, it felt like something was wrong because, when you look at the photo album, for example, and you are the only one with, afro or braids or like different hairstyles, like, oh, but why am I the only one? And I feel like Italy is also a very old school country, especially with racism. It's very bad. And for the longest time, I thought I had to accept racism because that was the only way to feel accepted or just to feel, part of the country. So I really had a complex relationship with my skin, my identity. And then slowly, I started to work on that and to, understand why I was not liking it. And that was a really intense period because, so many thoughts around me, so many conversations that I had to do with myself, a lot of trauma that I had to release and forgive myself, forgive other people. But like it took me maybe 2 years, 3 years of complete, like every single day work on myself to now arrive to the point where I really love my skin. I would never change it. I love the fact that I'm black. I'm really proud. I can say I'm black and proud in the same sentence without feeling bad.
Good.
And I can also speak up for other people when I see oppression or injustice. I can say something because I know what it's like to not being able to even recognize that that's bad. So it was very intense, but I'm so proud of the work that I do. If I didn't go through that work, I would not be able to stand up for not only myself but for other people. So yeah, it was such a ride.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you've gotten to that place and you're proud to be a black woman and we're beautiful and that's good.
No, like also in my business, in the beginning, I felt like I was only working with white people and there was not enough representation inside my own business. And it was so scary because it's like, oh, am I projecting all of my, childhood stuff where I was the only black person in my business, where I am the only black person again? So I started to, diversify a little bit the people that I was hiring and also exposing my work to different people. And, not only black, but just like different people.
Mhm.
And like now my business is going to be 2 years this year. And I feel like it's very diverse. I get people from different countries. For example, in my group program right now, I don't have one single person that is from one country, like that is 100% from one country. Everyone is mixed, everyone is diverse. And I wasn't working on that, it's just the way I was working and marketing myself, I attracted those kind of people. So yeah, it feels good now.
Good. Yes, that's so important to have diversity in your business. I know at Creative Gym Media, we um would like to work with BIPOC, LGBTQ, but we work with all people, and yeah, we yeah, diversity is very important in the
Yeah,
business. Yes.
so much. Yeah.
Um, is okay. Tell me something people would be surprised to know about you.
I speak 5 languages if I really
What?
try hard. Yeah, I can
Wow.
speak four without any problem, and five if I try hard enough.
Okay. What are they?
So Italian, of course, English, Portuguese, and Italian Sign Language are the main four that I can have conversation. And then French, I can like I have to prepare myself, but I can do it. I can read, I can listen, I can totally watch a movie in French. But if I were to have a conversation, I need to prepare my brain a little bit.
Nice. And like Portuguese, Italian sign language, and French. Did you just want to like learn those languages for fun, or was there like a purpose behind learning it?
um, I always traveled a lot when I was a
Yes,
kid.
that's true.
I
Yeah.
So actually French should be, almost my second language because I lived in Cameroon and Senegal and I was attending a French school, and then I also had French in high school for many, many years. And French for the longest time was almost better than my English. I could have much more in-depth conversation. But then I went to Brazil and I lived there for 6 months, going to school and living with a host family. And something shifted inside my brain. And it's almost like the French went out and the Portuguese came in. So all of my language pattern were a little bit disrupted. And
Yeah.
now when I try to speak French, the Portuguese is coming out and it's really hard. But yeah, and sign language, it was just I wanted to learn sign language, and I picked Italian sign language because I was living in Italy back then. And yeah,
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm trying to learn Spanish, trying to expand my language. I do want to learn Portuguese though. So,
yeah, it's fun.
yes, it sounds like it. So, what is something happening in your community that you feel very passionate about?
Something in my community, I feel like there's a lot of people that are finally understanding that branding is not, and it's not about the colors only, but it
Yeah.
can be much more than that, more fun. It's not like, oh, I need to stick to my colors guide or whatever. It's like you can have fun with your brand, because the more you are yourself, the more you can attract the people around you, the people that you want. So it's really fun to see how people understand that, and they shift from, oh, branding is limiting, to the more I am myself, the more I am marketing myself. So I would say this is the main thing that is happening, at least since November.
Yes, I thought branding was only colors too, but it's definitely not. It's so much more than that. Um, so what steps would people take to create the life they want? Because it seems like you're living the life you want. You're making your own rules. How can people do the same thing?
I would say start dreaming super big and never let go of that vision, because sometimes it takes years to have the life that you want to live. But if you're dreaming big enough, it's coming. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to dream very big because, oh, but what if this is never gonna happen? Or what if, but honestly, I'm still thinking of when, I'm gonna run my super successful company and have an office and like, I don't know, headquarters and all that kind of stuff. But I know that is not happening this year, not even next year. But it's helping me to keep dreaming and to keep moving in that direction. And after the dream phase, I would start the planning phase. So, not just keep your dream on a journal and then go about with your life, but try to take steps every day, even if it's half step toward the direction that you want to go. It's good enough. It's good, it's really good enough.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. Like, don't be afraid to dream big. I dream big, but then, like, you got to tell the right, like, I like to share, like, my dreams and stuff, and other people kind of put their, like, limitations, like, oh, Jasmine, you can't do that. Or, like, why would you do that? And I'm just like, because I want to. So,
Yeah.
it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's definitely okay to dream big, and then like just like maybe watch who you like share those big dreams with. You definitely want to have a support system that's gonna like root you on and be like, yeah, you can do that,
You need the
So
support system to be able to achieve any dream in your life, really.
yes, definitely do. So last question, and it's kind of a big question, but what do you want to be known for?
I would love to teach and inspire people to be their own entrepreneurs. Like, I feel like that's the way to go. Of course, it's okay to work in another job, but I feel like most people would love to have their own business, even on the side. And if we were to find a way to teach those people to do it in a fun and interactive way, rather than, the struggling, the saving money, the sales technique, like just part of your life. And yeah, with all the branding inside. So, personal branding that is fun, that is you, that is not just strictly your colors and fonts. I think it's this, but that's a very big question.
No, you answered it perfectly. I love, we definitely need like more entrepreneurs in the world. I mean, there's
Yeah.
the great resignation going on ever since COVID hit. Like people are leaving their corporate jobs and, they're starting businesses for themselves. So I definitely encourage that. Now, not everyone is like meant to be, an entrepreneur, but it's just about knowing, who you are, what works best for you, and things like that. So,
Yeah, I agree. It's like, about having that one passion on the side. It can even be a passion project. Like it doesn't have to be the thing that is making you seven figures.
right.
But if you know what you like and you dedicate some time to it, that's enough. It's better than coming home from your job and just sitting on the couch and watching TV and waiting until you go back to your job.
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Sonia, for being on the Creative Gym podcast. I really, really appreciate it. And how can people connect with you and find you and work with you?
Yes, thank you so much for having me, first of all. So, my handle is the same on all platforms. So, Wiley Creating, and my website is wileycreating.com. And my agency page on Instagram is wileycreating.co. But everything is connected to the same handle. So, if you find me in one place, you're likely to find me everywhere else.
Perfect. And you are accepting new clients, like,
Yes, yeah. For the
okay.
agency, yeah, we're gonna start booking for mid-March. And mentorship clients, I will officially launch my one-on-one in a few months. So
Yay. That's exciting. All
yeah,
right. Well, you guys go follow Sonia, and thank you so much again for being on the
thank
show.
you
And
so
have
so much.
a good, well, it's morning there in Australia. So,
Yeah.
well, you have a good day.
Thank you so so much for having me.